Good morning, everyone. This is Deaconess Elizabeth, and it is Friday, October the 16th. And I'm here once again for our daily devotions. So if you'd like to follow along, we are in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, starting at the 24th verse. He put another parable before them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while his men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. So when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared also. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, 'Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have weeds?' He said to them, 'An enemy has done this.' So the servants said to him, 'Then do you want us to go and gather them?' But he said, 'No, lest in gathering the weeds you root up the wheat along with them. Let both grow together until the harvest, and at harvest time I will tell the reapers, gather the weeds first and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn.' He put another parable before them, saying, 'The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches.' He told them another parable. 'The kingdom of heaven is like leaven that a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour till it was all leavened.' All these things Jesus said to the crowds in parables. Indeed, he said nothing to them without a parable. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet, 'I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter what has been hidden since the foundation of the world.' Then he left the crowds and went into the house, and his disciples came to him, saying, 'Explain to us the parable of the weeds of the field.' He answered, 'The one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed is the sons of the kingdom. The weeds are the sons of the evil one, and the enemy who sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are angels. Just as the weeds are gathered and burned with fire, so will it be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all causes of sin and all lawbreakers, and throw them into the fiery furnace. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who has ears, let him hear.'" All right, so a couple familiar parables. Jesus is explaining 3 different parables here that relate to the kingdom of heaven. The first one is a little bit longer, where it talks about the parable of the good seed and the weeds. And then after he's done speaking to the crowds, his disciples immediately come to him afterwards and are anxious to know the meaning behind this parable. And so Jesus tells them how the good seed are those that believe, who follow Christ, and then the weeds are those who do not believe. They are children of the evil one, of the devil. And so he talks about how that will be like the end of the age, how the weeds and the good seed will grow together, and then when Christ comes again, then the weeds will be gathered first and thrown into the fire, which we know is hell, where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth, and then the wheat will be gathered to himself. And then he sneaks in 2 smaller parables in there, saying the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed and like leaven, and both of these are small and hidden, and you don't see them working immediately. So we might not see it, but like when you're making yeast bread or whatever, you don't see the yeast is so small, you put it in there. But God is working through the small things, through the seeds that we're planting in the ears of those around us, through what we say and do, when we share our faith with them. So just a few things to think about this morning when we think about the kingdom of heaven and when Christ comes again. So this morning, our hymn will be hymn 892, "Come Ye Thankful People Come," and we'll sing verses 1 and 3. Come ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. All be safely gathered in, ere the winter storms begin. God our Maker doth close with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, thank you again for joining us here at Holy Shepherd for Daily Devotions. We have a few announcements for this weekend coming up. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. we will be having women's coffee hour outside. The weather's been really nice lately, so hopefully we will be able to meet outside without blankets yet, as the weather will be very, very nice. And then later on tomorrow we will be having our fall festival. That is a joint event between our preschool families and our church families. So all of our activities will be done outside, or most of our activities will be done outside, trying to encourage social distancing and everything. So tomorrow our fall festival begins at 4:30. So come ready to socialize and bring your appetites as well. And then Sunday, looking forward to seeing many of you here for Sunday school and church. And I hope to see many of you throughout the week in the many events that we have coming up. Hope you have a wonderful Friday.